So what we are going to do for the next few minutes is we are going to talk about delivery methods, and I'm going to give you a lot of insights there. Before we get into that though, I do want to talk about one-on-one coaching for just a few more minutes. One of the biggest issues that you're going to have with doing one-on-one coaching is you're going to have people who miss their calls. You're going to have an absenteeism problem. The problem with one-on-one coaching is that you sold this person a slot from 1 to 1:30 and you got someone calling in from 1:30 to 2. The person at 1 to 1:30 misses their call. They just can't call in at 1:30 because you've already got that time sold. So you have to have a way of addressing absenteeism. This is the thing. You should be selling a $5,000 program for a year. Now the problem is a lot of people are going to break that up into 12 payments. When they break it up into 12 payments, they may end up paying $6,000. They'll pay $500 a month. But what you need to emphasize is this is still a one-year coaching program. Because what will happen, you'll have in June where someone misses 2 or 3 calls and they just want to skip the next call and they just want to miss the whole month and then not pay for the month of June. And you need to explain to these people that that's not the process. That this is a one-year program. If they miss calls, in some instances you might have a situation where they can make the calls up, and in other instances you're not. But what you do not want is you do not want drop in and drop out. You do not want people thinking they can just, be on the call or not be on the call and then actually not pay that month. And I can tell you absenteeism is a big issue. One of the problems, like I said, is people miss a number of calls and then they kind of lose interest and it's hard to get them back into the process. Now, one of the things we didn't address is who calls who. Traditionally, if you're doing one-on-one coaching, that person's going to call you. They're going to have a specific time and date that they're going to call you, and they're going to have a specific amount of time on the calls. And we're probably going to get into that in a lot more detail when we go over the Millionaire coaching formulas, because we're going to lay these out for you. But what I wanted to do here is I wanted to address the absentee issue, because I can tell you it was one of the most frustrating parts of doing one-on-one coaching that I had, because you have people who miss the calls. You're there, you're sitting there waiting by the phone, you've blocked off that amount of time not to be doing other things, and then these people don't call, and then ultimately they're not getting value from it. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to start talking about delivery methods. The most common delivery method for coaching would simply be telephone. You're going to actually take calls from people, or you're going to make calls and you're going to have a group of people on the phone. And the telephone is an excellent way to do coaching. Again, I cannot emphasize enough. Get yourself a good headset, get yourself a good landline, and get yourself the best equipment so that you can be comfortable when you're actually taking and making these calls. The telephone is an excellent way to do coaching. There are really no drawbacks. The great thing about the telephone is if you do have to travel, for the most part, you can still do these in a hotel room or wherever you're at. You can essentially still have these calls even when you're not at home. But like I said, my advice to you is when you're at home, set this thing up so that you can actually do these calls with the best equipment. And like I said, when you're doing the telephone coaching, you can do this on group coaching and one-on-one. Your one-on-one calls, traditionally that person's going to call into you. Your group coaching, you're generally going to call into a bridge line. You're going to have a bunch of people on that call. You're going to record the call and then you're going to hang up. The next type of coaching is in-person coaching, where you're actually meeting a person or a group of people. Honestly, one-on-one in-person coaching is not going to be as common. You could certainly do that, but when you're dealing with in-person coaching, you're generally going to be coaching a group, and it might be a group of anywhere from 20 people to 150 or 200. My advice to you, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to have the same place set up every single month to do that coaching. Now, once in a while, again, like I said, you'll actually meet at a business owner's office or something like that, and we're going to explain that later. But for the most part, you want to have the same place. You want to have a nice conference room, and there are a couple of different places you can look at. Certainly, you want to look at hotel banquet rooms. You can rent these in some cases for a couple $100s a day, and you can have a nice workshop type of an environment, one day a month for that particular group. And like I said, don't try to find the cheapest place you can find. If these people are giving you a good amount of money, you want to invest in this space. Now, another thing you can look at temporarily is look at bank offices. A lot of bank offices have conference rooms and they have places where you might be able to do this short term. But like I said, in-person is another way to actually coach. You're traditionally going to do your in-person coaching in groups. Another way that you can actually coach people is digitally. You can essentially create a coaching program where they're actually being delivered content once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month. And what will happen here is, let's say you have a 26-week program, and every other week these people are going to be delivered a 1-hour piece of content. What you would do is essentially create that content, and you could create video or you could create audio. You could create a situation where that's going to actually be delivered to them digitally through an upload service, or you would actually send it to them email, or you'd actually mail it to them on DVD or CD. There are a number of different ways to actually create that product. What you will ultimately do, though, if you're delivering a digital program, you'll probably still have one call every 2 weeks where you're going to actually answer questions. So what will happen, they will get a training on Monday, and then on Thursday you're going to have a coaching gym or a question and answer session. And I can tell you, digital delivery is excellent, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's say you had a 26-week course on how to lose weight. You spent a lot of time creating this content, and you built an excellent program. The best thing that you can do is put that on video or put it on audio, and now you have it. And what happens now is you can start rolling that program out every 26 weeks, or you can roll it out every 12 weeks. What's great about digital delivery is you can essentially have that program starting anytime you want. So you could start it in January and you have 100 people in that program, and in February you could start it and you might have 100 or 200 people in that program. And the neat thing about it is it's all being done automatically. A lot of times this digital delivery is being sent to them automatically and you don't have to do anything. The great thing about digital is once it's done, you created a template. Now the only thing you're going to have to do is the coaching calls. But we're going to move on here. Now, the next type of product you can create is a product-based coaching program. And a product-based coaching program is where they're going to get a DVD of the month and a newsletter or something like that. Keep in mind, coaching programs don't automatically mean they're going to get time with you. There's levels of coaching programs, and later on we're going to show you an ascension model. But you might have a product-based coaching program where they're going to get an email of the week, they're going to get a newsletter of the month, and they're going to get a DVD of the month from you. And then there might be some group coaching calls where they actually call in and listen. But essentially there are a lot of people out there who sell a product-based coaching program. And this is a tier system. You might have 7 or 8 different coaching models that you sell, and this is one of the lower tiers where a person is going to get a little access to you, but they're going to get this content every month. But we're going to move on here. Another type of coaching program that can be delivered is a website membership-based coaching program. So what you do is you create a lot of content that's put on a website that's membership-based, and then what happens when people sign up for your coaching program, they might pay $200 or $500 a month, and now they have access to this membership site with all these tools that you've created. And remember earlier we were talking about a product-based coaching program. You can take all that product now, you can put it into a website forum. You can actually create a situation where that's password protected. So they have to be it's a membership site, and the people who are paying monthly have access to that. And then what you can do is you can continually add to that content every single month. I can tell you that Bill Myers has a membership website. He only charges $10 a month for this membership website, and he has over 6,000 people. Bill Myers is making over $750,000 a year with one website, and his entry level is only $10 a month. Now, I'm not telling you to create a $10 a month membership website. That's not what I'm telling you at all. What I'm telling you, though, is in the tier system where you're going to have lower and lower products and higher products, this can be something that you can offer. Now, the next thing you might have is a workshop-based training program. A workshop-based coaching program is excellent, and there are a lot of people doing this. And what I mean by workshop-based, I mean you're going to meet with these people once every 90 days, and you're going to have a 4-hour or 6-hour or 8-hour workshop with this group of people, and then 90 days later you're going to have another one. And so you're not going to be doing weekly calls with them. You're not going to be doing monthly calls necessarily with them, but you're going to have a quarterly workshop. Now, this is the thing. In these mixed groups, a lot of people will have a quarterly workshop, and they will still do a monthly coaching call for the group, or they'll do a situation where they're going to have a call of the month, and each month they interview someone. They can actually call in live and listen to it, or they get the CD delivered to them by mail. There are a lot of opportunities here. I tell you, the workshop method is really, really big right now. There are a number of different people doing this, and there are many ways to set these workshops up. And when we start getting into the Millionaire Coaching formulas, we're going to show you a number of different people doing a lot with these different types of workshops. And the last one we're going to talk about here is Yannick Silver's Adventurer Group. The Adventurer Group model is excellent, and what Yannick has done here, he's combined coaching with activity. And you really want to take a good look at this model, not just from the standpoint of what he's doing, but you want to try and integrate some of this into your coaching model. What he is doing is he's combining, like I said, coaching with an activity that people would like to really go out and do. They do Baja racing, they do skydiving, they essentially meet a couple of times a year, probably 3 or 4 times a year, and what they have is they have 4 or 5 days, 2 or 3 days they're going to be coaching, and then the other days they're going to actually be going out and doing these adventurer group things. They're going to be having fun. I can tell you that he charges a lot of money for this. I think it's $40,000 or $50,000 a year. I can tell you this is a multi-million-dollar yearly coaching program. And what he has done, he has combined having a coaching program with an activity. And traditionally, these are done in destination places like Orlando, Las Vegas, Arizona. So if you're going to be doing some type of adventure group, you want to look at having the group in those places. But we're going to move on here.